Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. And the Springboks have just completely dominated and outclassed New Zealand 26 points to 10. Probably the most dominant performance I've seen from a Springbok side against New Zealand in my lifetime, to be perfectly honest. And I think the match, which for a large part of it, I think at one stage, if it was before we scored that final try, 19 points to 10 felt like it was gonna be a very unjust scoreline because the Springboks just played that well, and I think that people were saying this is the worst New Zealand side they've seen, and I think a lot of South Africans were expecting them to pitch up today and be a tough team to beat, but the Springboks were just better in basically every single department. And that's what I think was so surprising. Is not so much that we beat them, first of all, by 16 points. Um, New Zealand were almost kept to 3 points. They scored a try right towards the end after the red card to Curtly Arendse, which was a very big pity because he had played so well until then. But I think that, as I said, I don't think any of us expected us to be that dominant against the All Black side. And look, a lot of people are sort of criticizing the Springboks for the way that we've played and not really been able to play to our ability. That's our ability. That was a statement win. That was a match where you can sit there saying, you know what, the rankings might not reflect it, but we still are very much one of the best teams in the world. And delivered, really did deliver. But before we break the match down, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. So if we look at the match, it was a really the perfect start from South Africa as Curtly Arendse went over in just the 7th minute. A pinpoint up and under from Andre Pollard. Brilliant contest in the air from Curtly Arendse. Lakanya with the support line. Finds a fantastic offload. Gives it to Curtly Arendse, who gasses Beauden Barrett and gets over into the corner. Andre Pollard adding the extra couple. 11 minutes later, another penalty. Andre Pollard adding the extra couple. We kind of knew that we were in the game from the first sort of scrum, I felt. Penalty at the first scrum, that for me was a bit of a sign of things to come, because if you can dominate up front, it gives you the ability to really go and beat teams. And we did dominate the scrum throughout the entire match. But the New Zealand scored their first point in the 35th minute through the boot of Jordie Barrett. And a big thing to note is obviously the Springboks lost Faf de Klerk within the first minute. So Jaden Hendrickse had to go the full 80. And I thought he played really well to do that. So the 6-2 split almost coming once again a little bit close to being stuck from the box, but managing to keep it. But we went to halftime 10 points to 3, which a lot of Springbok supporters on Twitter and stuff like that were quite frustrated because we felt like territory-wise we had played the entire half of New Zealand half. I think we had 67% possession, but we hadn't managed to really hit home that dominance. Second half, penalty goal from Pollard, and that was quite a big moment for me, because when you start seeing Pollard pulling out like penalty goal and stuff like that, it's a player who's filled with confidence. And I think it was a team performance that filled with confidence. So early penalty in the 50th minute, the drop goal in the 57th, and then a penalty in the 72nd. So during that time, New Zealand had moments, but you think back to the fine margins. Will Jordan made a brilliant break and Jasper Wiese managed to get the ankle tap in. Jasper Wiese doesn't make that ankle tap, Will Jordan could very well go over, and suddenly the All Blacks are back in the game. So the Springbok defense needs a massive pat on the back, because they really did stand up. Curtly Arendse, I thought, had an absolutely terrific game, near flawless before he took out Beauden Barrett in the air. He got his timing completely wrong. He was running full tilt. He knew he couldn't get there. He couldn't pull out, and he ran through, took out Beauden Barrett's legs. Beauden Barrett landing on his neck. Curtly Arendse also was stretched it off with a suspected concussion. Thankfully, Beauden Barrett managed to walk off, but a deserved red card. On that break, Caleb Craft made a fantastic break just after that, where he rounded David. Thought it looked like he had rounded David Williamson and left him for dead. David Williamson managed to reel him in with a brilliant tackle, but Shannon Frizzell coming with the support play and managed to push over Pollard to go over. But New Zealand pushing to try and find the bonus point. A loose ball was pounced upon by Villaroo. He snatched the ball over and went over, scoring in the 79th minute. Pollard adding the extras, full-time score, 26 points to 10. And if you look at the stats, it does tell quite a big story. I mean, possession-wise, South Africa actually had less possession, but we are a defensive side, so we don't mind that. We scored 2 tries to 1. But I think, as I said, if you look at the defense, the Springboks will miss tackles, and that's what's always interesting, because the Springboks will miss tackles because of the rush defense. But basically, the defense is not much about making a tackle. It's about making the hits. It's about slowing the ball down. It's about making sure they can't send the ball out wide. and we did that very well. And I think that was probably what really sort of disrupted New Zealand the most. South Africa winning every scrum. They disrupted the line out as well. But New Zealand also, discipline-wise, was fairly shocking. And it must be said, I haven't seen such an ill-disciplined performance from New Zealand in a very long time. But for the South Africans, very few players had bad games. I thought Malcolm Marx was absolutely sensational on his 50th match. He won 4 turnovers. Didn't miss a tackle, I don't think. Carried pretty well. His line work was good. I thought that Pollard, I don't think I've seen matches where he's been much better than that. Thought that Makazole Mapimpi worked really hard. David Williams had a very quiet but solid game where he sort of ticked over. Lekanya just kept coming in with just little bits of world-class moments. He doesn't always do it all the time. Not every single time he gets the ball will he create something, but he just comes in clutch so many times. The offload, a penalty where he won it at the breakdown. He's such a class player that just affects the game so often in sort of small but always so significant ways. I thought Stephen Kitsop was very good off the bench. And a big up to Jaden Hendrickson. I mean, when you think about playing in just his 4th game for the Boks, to come on within a minute and be expected to play the full 80, I thought that he was absolutely class. Made some good tackles. His distribution was very good. His kicking game was very good. He looked so comfortable at this level. And we missed Faf de Klerk, I think, on defense to a certain degree because he is so important to that rush defense. But I think we can now rest easy knowing that we've got a very, very capable replacement in the likes of a Jaden Hendrickson. For New Zealand, I thought that Artie Sevier was a man on the mission. He really did play well. He did try so hard. I felt that Bowden Barrett as well was playing some really good rugby. But just sloppy. Missed tackles, really poor penalties, not protecting the ball at the breakdown. I mean, the Springboks were having an absolute field day at the breakdown. It was far too easy for them to get over the ball and turn it over. So for New Zealand, a lot of questions and a lot of aspects that they need to improve on. For the Boks, they basically just need to repeat that performance in a week, and they could very well beat New Zealand 2-0. Fantastic performance for the Boks. Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.